Caleb Johnson right now is playing like not just an all Big Ten guy, but an All-American. I saw odds, Heisman odds earlier today, and he was missing the top 10 Heisman odds, which I think was interesting. I asked Coach Patterson after the game, I said, should he be in conversation for Heisman talk? And Don said, no. And I said, come on. See, I disagree with that. At this point, whether you think it's fair to have Heisman discussions or not, and the reason Don doesn't like it is because he didn't think we should be talking Heisman after week 4, and I get it. But why wouldn't he be in the talk right now? I don't think he's going to win the Heisman, but I'm just saying the leading rusher in the country. Now, the kid from Boise State's having an exceptional year as well. They've played one less game, but they're on pace right about the same. And as you mentioned, Caleb's done it against 2 Power 5 opponents now and 2 good defenses in Iowa State and Minnesota.
It's what we do. We talk about the sport from all various angles, and that being the most, what I consider the most prestigious award in all of sports. And yeah, I did not anticipate talking about Caleb Johnson in these terms, but if we're going to talk Heisman Trophy now, if he goes against Ohio State in 2 weeks and puts up 150,
that will change. That's going to be, if that's ever going to transpire and he's ever going to be on actual Heisman boards, he's going to need to do it against Ohio State. I don't think there's any other path to him winning the Heisman. Like if we actually had that conversation, it is sort of silly having it this early, but if there's any path to him winning a Heisman, it's probably having big moments against Ohio State in a week and a half. Maybe that game against Nebraska, but now with the Nebraska loss to Illinois, that Ohio State game, even though nobody expects him to win, became more important after Illinois won that game Friday night because it just takes away from Nebraska's resume, unfortunately. And I don't know who else on the Iowa schedule. We talked strength of schedule preseason. I still don't know who on the Iowa schedule is daunting, Mark. Can you tell me? Is there anybody on that schedule that's daunting?
I would like to see them play. If I could see them play anyone in the conference, it would be USC. That would be a slam dunk choice. And now I want to see them play Illinois. But of course, what we've got is the second most daunting game on the schedule. If they continue to play, based on what I've seen thus far, it's either the Michigan State game on the road or it's Nebraska.
Wow. I would not have expected you to say Michigan State. Now, Washington, I didn't watch the game. They have 1 loss, and that was to a rival. But they did blow out Northwestern. Doesn't sound like Northwestern. I mean, I looked at the stats. I didn't watch the game, but it sounds like they were horrid.
Yeah.
Mark, I'll be I'll be right back. I got to slip away just for a second.
Sure. I took in the first quarter of that Washington game against Northwestern, and yes, Northwestern scoring 5 points. It was a pretty atrocious display of football there. Do we have Corey back?
Hey there. I'm back.
I didn't know whether to bring you back or not. Okay.
Yep, I'm back.
I caught about the first quarter of the Washington Northwestern game.
Okay. Well,
last night I just clicked on it.
Washington did. The numbers would say they dominated that game. So maybe Washington, I think week after the game against Ohio State, that could very easily be one of those games. I mean, after the Washington game, there's a stretch, Mark, for Iowa. I'm looking at, let me see here. So between Michigan State, Northwest, yeah. So you get Washington, Michigan State, who might be the other team you mentioned, Northwestern. You have UCLA. What do you make of Maryland right now? I mean, I know they had that win against Virginia. They beat Villanova, lost to Michigan State. They've been unimpressive, it looks like to me. The little bits I've caught of them, they've been unimpressive in their wins. Like Virginia's horrible, right?
Yeah, they're pretty horrible. They're not
pretty horrible.
Pretty horrible.
How do you become pretty horrible?
Pretty brand of horrible.
Yeah,
there are worse teams out there. Yeah, the Maryland game. I lost track of where I was headed after this. There was something in my mind in terms of some direction to take us, but we'll tell you in the meantime. Corey, of course, is at from the Hawkeye of the Storm, and the audio, of course, is available there as well on your favorite audio platform.